Today, I'm going to see if I can cook burgers on a disposable grill. What's happening, Panda Nation? Peter Von Panda here, outside with this disposable grill here, ready to use. It's by Oppenheimer, not the guy who invented the nukes, I think. Otherwise, this may be very spicy, but it comes in this little tray here. It's kind of like 9 by 12, and it's a few inches thick, maybe 2.5 inches thick here. And everything that you need to grill something, I think, is in here. Now, I've got a metal table here. I don't know how this is constructed here, but I don't want to burn anything underneath it. Obviously, it comes shrink wrapped, and I think one of the main reasons is that there's like charcoal that's pre-soaked in lighter fluid, and so you don't want that to evaporate off and getting a little bit of dust, charcoal dust. So depending on how long you've had this thing or the miles it's traversed. All right, so this comes off. And we get some instructions for use as well as cautionary notes, keep out of reach of children. This guy's going to use it, place it on a supplied frame. So that's a good note. And if I pull off the bottom here, what you can see is we actually have this little wire frame underneath, and that I think will allow us to just turn it this way. You can see that we have some notches to hold it in place. So if I put this down and then put this kind of straddling it, good. It's going to hold it off the ground a little bit. All right, the other thing is it has a thick sheet of igniter-soaked paper in there, and you can see that right there. So I think I'm just going to put this down here like this, and then this little grate on top is big enough for a lighter or a match. So I'm just going to go ahead and light this, and then I think we're just going to give it a couple minutes to get all of the charcoal going, and once that goes, then I'm going to put on some burgers here, and we'll see what the pros and cons of using this are. I feel like this could be really convenient to take on a 2-person overnighter or a quick little impromptu tailgate or something like that. But it doesn't have a lid, so there's a limit to what you can cook. It's not very big, so I don't know how hot it's going to get. So even though I have my hamburger patties here that are defrosted, thawed out, kind of 50 or 60 degrees, I don't know how well this will cook them, but I guess we'll see. Let's get this thing lit up. All right, so I'm going to use matches here. I suppose I could use anything. The wind has kind of died down a little bit right now, but it is definitely a little windy out here. I'm just going to go ahead and try to get this lit up here while it's not super windy out, because when the wind kicks up here, it's definitely windy enough to blow out matches. Oh, geez, got a little pop there. Got some of that lighter fluid ignited there. So I'm just going to go ahead and let this burn here. It reminds me of a Duraflame log, where it's wrapped in igniter fluid paper, and you're lighting that, and that's enough to get the inside log lit. Man, wait, this is going the other way. I'm like to block it here with the cover here just a little bit. It's man, the wind is blowing in the wrong direction and blowing it against the way it's burning on the paper. So I want to make sure that it gets the whole thing lit. And I guess I could just spin it around, but I feel like the nice little wind action that we've got will be nice for creating those coals and getting them up to temp. But looks like just regular charcoal briquettes in there. So hopefully that's enough to get them lit. And I'm still blocking it with the lid here. The wind is getting a little wind out here. Just putting out a little bit of smoke. It's not like a wet log or anything, but you are getting a little campfire smell in the clothes. I'm actually surprised those briquettes on the leading edge where I first lit it are burning. They seem to be putting out flames. So that's good news. Sometimes I find even with lighter fluid, it's a little hard to get briquettes going. Kind of like me in the morning. You have a little windy and some sun here. All right, some of that paper still hasn't burned up yet. I also will say here that because the space is not that large, there's going to be a limit to how much you can cook. I feel like you could get 4 regular burger patties on there, probably a ton of hot dogs. But I don't know that this is going to be able to produce food very quickly or in large quantities. And I definitely could see even one of those small travel Coleman propane grills being superior than this, but instead you don't need any power. I don't have to worry about there being propane or gas in a tank. You could definitely throw this into a backpack. It's probably going to get beat up a little bit, but it's not very heavy, so it could definitely travel with you. That's for sure. All right, all the paper is pretty much burned away here. There may be some just left in the corners, but it's going to get cooked away. Getting a pretty good flame. It's definitely ticking up 12 to 18 inches above the charcoal at some points here. But the fact that I'm using this outside and that it's a little windy, you can see the flames are being laid down sideways, I think is actually good for stoking that flame and getting these charcoals ignited and burned, because we're still pretty black now. I feel like what I want to do is see a little less flame and a little more ember, if you will. As soon as we get there, then I'm going to go ahead and take my burgers here, which I think these are just like defrosted bubble burgers. So your standard, I don't know, 5-6 inch diameter burger patty, and they're pretty thin, half an inch, third of an inch. But I've got 3 of them. See if they can cook all 3 of them, and maybe even heat up the burger buns as well, and then see if we can get lunch out of this, or if it's more of a gimmick than anything else. But without heat, I feel like that's a good sign. With enough heat, you can cook anything, but it'd be hard to, I don't know, cook some food, heat up some coffee. So that's also why I brought out my Coors Banquet there too. So I think just a few more minutes of letting this just burn up to temp. We'll start cooking. All right, one thing I want to show you here, and you can see the flames kind of shooting out of those holes, but there are holes all around the sides here, and it's a nice little design element because the wind can pass through there. So it's not stuck in a bowl. They're not being starved of oxygen. So that's smart. Now, one thing I will tell you that I think would have made some sense is to have another one of these tins that maybe doesn't have the holes. Maybe it does actually, but just nested around this main tin here so that you have a second tin that you could flip over upside down and put on here kind of like a top. So if you were obviously doing burgers or maybe a steak or something that you wanted to more cook than just grill or sear, you'd be able to trap some of that heat, because especially on a cold day, it's probably going to be warm on the bottom and cold on the top, just like me. So anyway, just a thought, but you could probably take aluminum foil and drape it on the here or something like that to create a little bit of a cooking or oven-like situation. But so far, again, still burning. They are definitely turning gray and ashy, but still don't want to put the food on quite yet. Give it a couple more minutes here. Okay, it's smoking, but I don't see any flames licking up from it anymore. So I think things are cooking. I might just breathe on it just to make sure that it just hasn't gone out on me, but I don't think it'd smoke otherwise. And then let's get some food on this sucker. It is putting out some heat, though. I can definitely feel it. All right, so get some burgers on and see what this does. So I'm trying to get them over the meat of the coal here because they're bunched up on this side. So see how that goes. I can hear them sizzling slowly. If you were to have a hot propane grill going right now and you throw on those burgers, you can hear them sizzling right away on your grill bars, as well as hear it cooking. Maybe see some fat rendering off, dripping down right away. So I feel like there's a lot of heat, but it's just kind of very concentrated. I feel like, if anything, I'm going to be rotating the burgers because the heat in the middle here is probably going to cook kind of one side of the burger faster than the outside. The outside edges of these burgers, unfortunately, aren't even directly over coals. So that's something that I think you're going to have to compensate with just a little cooking and barbecuing mastery. All right? So we'll see. All right, one thing that I'm going to say here is it's a little bit more like barbecue pitmasters. I feel like this is low and slow heat, but you can see it is cooking. That fat is rendering off, it's dripping on there, and probably adding a lot of smoke back, a lot of flavor, very smoky and oaky. Obviously, this is something that I am going to cook well done here, just because I don't trust this meat as much as I do from other sources, but so far looks all right. I might just flip them to see what it looks like underneath, and if I need to do that rotation as I thought I might. So let's take a look at that now. One thing I will say is this grill is not very sturdy, so you can't put much pressure on it. You got to kind of put horizontal pressure on it. It's hard to hold the grill in place. I'm holding that brace down with my finger as I'm rotating it over. Hey, you know what? That actually looks unbelievably well cooked, actually. So I may not have needed to have been as worried as I was. I'm gonna take that one like that. Hey, that looks pretty good too. You know what? I mean, I'll tell you, as good as any tailgate burger I've seen. All right, that one looks a little less done. I'm actually going to just change the orientation because I can tell this inside piece here is not as cooked as well. This one too. This one actually is probably the best cooked. I might just change this one up too. Let that inside edge cook. It's got that dark char on the outside on this side, but on this side it's still a little pink. So Just let that roll for a few. Okay, I think things are not quite cooking at the same times here just because of the way temperature is not equally distributed. But all right, that burger is looking like it's getting there. And just try flipping this one now. There's a lot of red on that one still. That side looks pretty good. And go back to this first one that I thought was cooking probably the quickest. It's like could just use a little more there. But what I think I'm going to do here is, because I've got these brioche buns here, thought maybe I'd throw a couple of them on there and just see if we can kind of toast up the inside of them a little bit and elevate the experience here. They don't need to be on direct flame and they don't need to be on very long. So let's go ahead and throw a couple on the sides, get a little char, a little smoky, and because they're only half sitting on, I'm gonna have to rotate them here in about 30 seconds. Cool. Toasted that pretty good and pretty quickly on there, so let's get that other side done. All right, the buns are very nicely toasted. Took those off. Obviously, it doesn't take much time. Thought the burgers are pretty close here. They're probably actually safe to eat, but like I said, more about tailgating type of food. I go pretty well done on them. The one thing I will say is that I have seemed to find the hot spot is over here, and I don't know if that's because of where the wind is blowing or maybe the coals got burned through more there or whatever, but I've moved the burgers over there because these two are definitely not cooking as fast as that one. And I will also say here that I've been out here for a little while. I haven't been timing it. If you're barbecuing on a grill, a burger only takes, I don't know, 5 to 10 minutes, but this is easily double that. And one of the things that I will say here is that it looks like this grill is going to continue to cook even when these are done. But I only have 3. I probably could have put 4 on here, but that's 4 burgers, and I could probably do 4 more. But when you're talking about having an interval of 15 or 20 minutes before the second 4, like I said, this is really for personal use, not for a group of any significant size. So yeah, if you are just out in the wilderness trying to make yourself and your dog a hot meal before you call it a night, yeah, perfect. But if you are 4 people out in the wilderness, it's probably going to work, but that's probably going to be the upper bounds of what you want to feed with this. That's my guess so far. Unless you have a bunch of sides, some potato salad and a pizza. All right, these burgers are hopefully nicely well done now, and so I'm just going to go ahead and lay them on here. They do shrink quite a bit. Shrinkage. It's not that cold out. 65 degrees or so. All right, so there we got 3 burgers. The fire, as you can see, the smoke is still going here. And I've got these brioche buns. I don't actually have a lot to dress these up with, but I do have a little ketchup, which is probably the only thing you need. And if you're having Chicago-style hot dogs, make sure you get your ketchup for those because that just pisses off a lot of people. And it makes the hot dogs edible. So I don't know why you would not put ketchup on a hot dog, but there are a lot of sick people in this world, and they all live in Chicago. So there we go. That's pretty much it. And so we got our little overcooked hockey pucks on there. You can still feel the heat emanating out of that grill. But like I said, I could still cook some stuff on there because it's going to be a while before those go out. You could probably put them out a little quicker by throwing some water on there, but I feel like it's no harm just letting them continue to burn off here. I don't know. If I had hot dogs or something, I could probably put a dozen hot dogs on there and let them go. But let's go ahead and try this burger made on this disposable grill. All right, so here we go. Looks all right. Definitely well done. You can see they're wanting to cook all the way through. I don't know what kind of meat they use in these frozen, mass-produced hamburger patties, but that's why I go heavy on them. But you know what? It's actually got a pretty good taste because, one, I think there's a lot of fat in these burgers to begin with, but also because there was so much smoke, I think that's infused in there too. So it has a little bit of that crust and that bark, which I really like. Obviously, the bun and the brioche of the toasting there helps a little bit too, but even with just ketchup, pretty good. Now, I would say that the cooking time over a grill or a regular outdoor barbecue is 2-3x here. So you got to be patient. But if you're doing a little stealth camping, if you're doing a little backpacking trip, if you're trying to have the least amount of equipment when you go to your campsite or something like that, I think this could be a great way to make a meal for a couple people and have a little bit of that outdoor experience without a lot of effort. You don't have to worry about lighter fluid and charcoal and finding a grill and all that other stuff. So it's ready to rock. And I think the price point on this was about $20. So they're not giving them away. I'd like them to be a little cheaper, but the suckers does work. And now they get to sit out here and they have a burger at a banquet. Oh, and the experience may be the greatest gift from this grill. So if you want to pick up this grill, I'll put a link to it in the description below. Peter Von Panda. Out.
We can discover more and explore so much deeper. We can live better than ever, thanks to Peter Von Panda.